Have you ever had a moment like this? You just wanted to lie down, close your eyes for 5 minutes. But the moment you did, it felt like another world woke up inside your mind. One thought led to another, then another, then another, until it felt like someone had set a train loose inside your head with no brakes. You tell yourself, stop. I don't want to think anymore. Just let me sleep peacefully tonight. But your thoughts never seem to listen. Instead, the harder you try to silence them, the louder they come back. A tiny mistake from 5 years ago suddenly appears in your mind. Then you start wondering, what if I had answered differently that day? What if I hadn't made that decision? What if people are still laughing at me? Then your mind jumps into the future. What if I fail? What if everyone leaves me? What if I never become successful? Isn't it strange? Events that haven't even happened yet can still make you suffer. And the ones that ended years ago refuse to let you go. Sometimes it feels as if your own mind has turned against you. But what if the truth is the complete opposite? What if your mind isn't trying to destroy you, but trying to protect you? Sounds strange? Let's imagine something. Suppose you live in an old house. From the outside, it's beautiful, fresh paint, clean windows. Everything looks perfect. But for years, you've never gone down into the basement because down there are boxes you never want to open. Old memories, old pain, old shame, old fears. You convinced yourself that locking the door would make everything disappear. But every night, strange noises begin to come from the basement. At first, very quietly, then a little louder, then louder still, until you can't sleep anymore. Now here's the question. Is the problem the noise, or is the real problem that you never went downstairs to see what was actually hiding there? Our minds work in much the same way. Everything we don't want to feel, everything we refuse to admit, everything we desperately try to forget gets locked away in a dark room inside us. But locking something away doesn't make it disappear. It waits silently for years. Then one day, it doesn't break down the door. Instead, it returns as endless thoughts, as anxiety, as fear that seems to have no reason. And all you can ask is, why do I overthink so much? But maybe you're not overthinking at all. Maybe there's something inside you that has been trying to get your attention for years. And as long as you refuse to look at it, the noise inside your mind will never stop. Because some truths don't become silent just because you ignore them. They simply learn how to speak, even louder. At first, very softly, like someone calling your name from far away. You hear it, but you ignore it. Then, that whisper slowly changes. You suddenly wake up in the middle of the night. Your heart starts racing for no obvious reason. Everything in your life may seem perfectly fine, yet somehow something feels wrong. So you keep yourself busy. You work harder. You scroll your phone longer. You lose yourself in crowds. Because the moment everything becomes quiet, the noise inside your head returns. We convince ourselves that staying busy will bring us peace. But you can't silence an inner voice forever by surrounding yourself with outer noise. It always comes back, louder, clearer, sometimes as anxiety, sometimes as anger, sometimes as a strange hatred toward yourself, sometimes as an emptiness that has no words. And do you know the scariest part? Many people live with that noise for their entire lives without ever stopping to ask themselves, what am I really running away from? What feeling have I kept locked away all these years? Why does my mind keep returning to the same place? Maybe your problem isn't overthinking. Maybe overthinking is only the symptom. The real cause lies much deeper, far deeper, in a place you haven't looked at for years. And strangely enough, your mind never forgets the way back to that place. That's why the same thoughts, the same fears, the same memories, the same questions keep returning until one day you finally stop and stand in front of that locked door. Because that dark room was never created to scare you. It has simply been waiting for the day you gather enough courage to open it. And maybe on that day, you'll discover that the monster you feared for so many years was never a monster at all. It was an ignored wound, an unspoken emotion, an unfinished story that only wanted to be heard. And that is where the hardest journey of a person's life begins, but also the most liberating one, the journey back to yourself. But why does our brain keep bringing back the same thoughts? Why do old memories still feel so alive, even after many years? And why, the harder we try to forget a thought, the more stubbornly it stays inside our minds? The answers are not hidden in emotions alone. They're hidden in the way our brain actually works. And that is exactly